Hi everyone, and welcome back to my take on it with Your Angelic Karma. We are live once again. Those of you that want to join with me on the chat, you're most definitely welcome to do so. It is Tuesday night, April 30th. I wanted to come on here quickly. I'm going to give some tips on romantic relationships. I was going to start this tomorrow, May 1st, but I decided to go ahead and do it tonight here quickly. And it's about being within your feminine energy when you're in a romantic relationship, especially when you're first starting a relationship off. You want to start with that foundation of tip number one. If you want the relationship to proceed in a way where you feel that you're in your feminine energy, meaning that you don't feel that you're carrying the relationship. You don't feel that everything is riding on your shoulders. You don't feel that you're putting the energy and effort into the relationship by yourself. You don't feel that it's a one-sided relationship. You don't feel that you're chasing what you want out of the relationship. You don't feel that it's a relationship that takes you out of your character like that. When you have a list of what I just stated, that's a clue that the relationship is not for you. Whenever you're in a relationship with someone and the relationship takes you out of your character, out of your nature, it means that the person isn't the correct person for you like that. Now, so when you're dealing with men in romantic relationships, I'm going to give two tips here, and I'm going to explain them very well, because there's a lot of ways that this could be looked at. Now, first, when you're talking about masculine and feminine relationships, okay, first, we all know that women can stand on our own 2 feet. That's obvious. We're adults. We can stand on our own 2 feet. We can handle our own life like that personally. Like, okay, we know the do's and don'ts of life. We can handle our life for ourselves. Now, but when you're in a romantic relationship and you want to start the relationship off where the man knows his place, meaning that you're a feminine woman, you're attracted to masculine men, you want to be able to ask the man for advice. It doesn't mean that you don't know what to do. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean that you're confused. It doesn't mean that you're a damsel in distress. It means that you're in a partnership. You're in a connection where it's not starting off where the foundation of the relationship is about you carrying the weight. It's about you strong and carrying the burden. It's about you being strong for them. It's about you giving them advice. It's about you always having the answers like that. It's about you're the one supporting them and having the answers for their issues. It's about you're the one supporting the complete relationship and having the answers regarding the relationship. And that burden is on you to feel. That takes you out of your comfortableness in the relationship. It takes you out of your feminine energy, and it puts you you're still in your feminine energy, but you're doing what they should be doing. You're stepping into their territory. You're stepping into the shoes that they should fill. And some women could feel that, well, if I don't come up with the solutions to the issues in the relationship, there will be no solution. If I don't handle the things myself in a romantic relationship, they won't get handled. If I don't make this my priority and do that and stay on top of things, they're not going to be handled. They're not going to be done. So I feel that the burden is on me to do that. Okay, well, then you have to ask yourself, what is the person that you're in a relationship with? What's their role? What are they there for? What do you call a partnership? A partnership is when two people have roles to play, is basically what it is. It's when two people bring in all of them to a relationship. Is not about, if the feminine energy is going to play the supportive role, yeah, sometimes the feminine energy does play the supportive role. Sometimes the masculine energy puts her in that position of playing the supportive role. This is what he'll say. He'll say, well, my career is important because I'm making the most money. Because men usually devise things and have things orchestrated around their career and money. My career is important because I'm making the most money. Because the responsibility of the relationship, practically, to be a provider, to be a protector, is on me. So what I'm doing is most important, and you're a supportive role. That's what the man will state, or that's what his actions will show. So the woman will be supporting him in his career, meaning that not having to make decisions about what he should do with his life. It would be men usually have that down pat. She'll be the supportive role, meaning that he'll want someone that is he's celebrating his promotions, his time he needs at work. He wants her to be understanding of that, to be the supportive role of understanding that's a priority for him. And her role is to be understanding regarding that and understanding why the job and the career is most important to him. And he'll put her in it and say, well, it's important to me because I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for the family. So if I'm not at home, you should be able to support that. Okay. He'll put her in a supportive role sometimes. Men usually don't come to women to solution the romantic partner, the relationship issues like that. He is usually on top of that also. Even if she can have suggestions, it's usually not a burden that she has to worry about like that. It would be because he will feel that that he is responsible for the relationship. Actually, they're both responsible for it, but men, for some reason, they feel that, well, there's a responsibility that I carry for the relationship like that. Okay. Now, and you, if you want to be in your feminine energy, you would have to allow him to do that. Now, and not feel that, don't feel fear that, well, if, it's not about turning the reins over. It's about, well, having somebody you could trust, having somebody that steps up to the plate and they like stepping up to the plate, having somebody that you can come to when you need advice. If you want to be in your feminine energy, always ask your man for advice like that. Don't always be so quick to give it. Don't always be so quick to lead. Don't always be so quick to solution things. Let him be the man. Let him solution it. Let him problem solve. Let him give you advice like that. And then get that as the foundation for the relationship. And then you two start to solution things together like that. But you're in your feminine energy doing it. Then you two start to come up with solutions together. Then you start to give him advice sometimes if he's asking for it like that. But always openly go to him for advice. Men like being needed, even though you're capable, but still letting him know that you see a partner in him, that you see a partnership between you two. And it doesn't have anything to do with you not being capable. It has something to do with you're in a partnership. And what is he there for? And then you don't set the relationship up where you feel that, well, I feel that I'm always giving him advice. I feel that I'm motivating him. I feel that I'm carrying the burden for the relationship. I feel that when there's an issue or a problem, I'm having to solution it. I feel that I'm doing everything like that. Okay, you're not in a relationship. You're not in a partnership. And yeah, you support your man, but support is, usually men know what to do. Men are, and I'm going to say this, a lot of people may not agree with it. Men throughout history have been wired to be leaders. They have it innate within them. Why? Well, because they have more testosterone. Okay. Now, so they use that energy to lead. Okay. That's even in romantic relationships. So if you find yourself in a situation where you feel stuck, you feel restricted, you feel out of sorts, you feel out of your energy, you feel uncomfortable, it's because you are taking on what is traditionally and what should still be his primary role. And it doesn't mean that there isn't two-parted leadership. It means that when a feminine woman feels that she's stressed out, the relationship is a burden, she doesn't have a hard place to fall, She can't come to him and lay her head on his shoulder and cry. She can't come to him and tell him what the issue is, and he have a solution, or he has a listening ear. If she feels that every time there's an issue or a problem, she has to solution it. If she feels that she's carrying the weight or the burden or the responsibility and having to prioritize things by herself, but she still has a man there, that is not a relationship. That is not a partnership. That's somebody that is there because they want to take on a feminine role and want you to provide a masculine role for them, like that. So the way that you start the relationship off is you don't be so willing to be, okay, this is a relationship, this is a job, so that means I should be doing this, that, and that. No, it's a relationship. You're with a man, so you should be feeling comfortable and at peace in your feminine energy. You should feel that you can talk to him about whatever. Once it gets to that part, you can come to him to advice. You can come to him to vent. You can come to him to cuddle up. You can come to him to feel safe. You can come to him to feel protected. Hell, you can come to him for money. You can you can come to him to for all of your needs, like that, physically, emotionally, mentally, for security, for safety, for everything. That's what the man is for. Now, as opposed to him coming to you for that, and you're like, or you feeling that, well, if things are going to be done right, I'm going to have to do it, but he's here. Okay, it's like, I'm being the woman and the man, but I have a man. It's like, because you feel that, well, but if I don't do that, things aren't going to get done. If I don't, because a lot of women, they feel that they have to take on that role, a double role, a dual role, because they feel that it's not important enough to the man that they have to get things done, to make sure things are correct, to make sure things are functioning well. They could feel that, well, it's not important enough to him to do that. So if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. Because he's not taking it as important. He's not taking it as serious. Well, you're not in a romantic relationship with a man. You could be in a relationship with somebody that is immature. You could be in a relationship with someone that doesn't know how to lead. You could be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't know how to be in a partnership like that. You could be in a relationship with someone that is that way. Also, number 2 is with feminine energy and dealing with masculine men. It's still about letting them be a man, and being a man is different for every man, but it's being a man, and men are always in action. Men are always solutioning. Men are problem solvers. That's what they've been doing since history started. Now is for the negative and the positive. That's what they've been doing, fumbling, but that's what they've been doing. Now, women throughout history have always played a supportive role. Even now, when you have gender equality, women's role is still primarily a supportive role of that. Even though there's that equality in making decisions together, there's that equality in being able to compromise. Guess what that means? That means that the men are not so rigid as they were in the past and have they been throughout history, but they're still leading. Even if you could say, well, there are 2 leaders of the household, not really. The men usually still are the ones that are leading the bandwagon, and the woman is still playing a supporting role, even though it's more of a role than she played in the past. She's still fully in her feminine energy. Don't let people fool you. Don't let women fool you and tell you that they're not in their feminine energy, but their husband's still here in the United States. They are predominantly in their feminine energy. Even if they're making decisions together, even if they're compromising, it's just the men now, modern men, are more compromising than they were before. They're a little bit, they're less rigid than they were before as it relates to compromising, as it relates to dual decision making. But the woman is still able to be in her feminine energy. The woman still knows that she has a man that she can come to like that. She has a man that is going to support her. She has a man that is going to be there for her. She has a man that is going to protect her. She has a man in the family, obviously. She has a man that is going to give her advice. She has a man that is going to be understanding understanding. She has a man that is going to be have the answers, and the answers that he doesn't have. She has a man that knows how to find the answers, and that's the burden and the weight that it doesn't have to be on her shoulder, so she can feel relaxed. And being relaxed makes her a better mother. Being relaxed makes her a better woman to herself, nurturing her feminine energy. Being relaxed makes her a better goal seeker. Being relaxed makes her a better businesswoman. Being relaxed makes her a better creator. Because she's supported and she could be in her feminine energy in safety and security like that. As opposed to having to be in a situation where she's out of sorts. She is feeling, well, the scales are tipped out of it. And when men, masculine men that allow that, the woman would be more planning in the relationship. And usually planning, let's go here, let's go there, let's go out, and the woman to get into her energy of wanting to spend time with the man. Let's go here, let's go there. She'll be more in her feminine energy. Let's get this distraction. You've had a hard day, let's have a picnic. You've had a hard day, let's drink a glass of wine. Or you had a hard day, let's make some healthy drinks like that. You had a hard day, I want to make you lunch. You had a hard day, I want to make you dinner. You had a hard day, let me lay my head in your lap. You had a hard day, let's cuddle. You had a hard day, let me run you a bubble bath. Like that. Okay, the woman to be more in her feminine energy like that, as opposed to having a man that doesn't know how to handle his own life, and he comes with that burden of that which he is and what he brings to a relationship, and she feels that every time he comes into my direction, I get stressed because it's about me solving a problem. It's about me being the leader. It's about me being a mother. It's about me being a wife. It's about me being a husband. It's about me, but I have him. It's restrictive. It's about me having to work. It's about me having to do, okay, so there's a fine line. And when you hear things about traditional roles having had shifted, you have to understand what they're meaning by the shift. Don't fall for the okie doke and think women in the United States are running relationships and families. They're not. They have men that are making more money than them. They have men that are decision makers in the relationship. They have men that if there's a problem, if she made a decision, that man can correct that problem like that. Or he has the answers like that. So she can use her problem solving skills in the relationship because she knows if she F's up, he can correct it like that. Because he has access to resources. He has his own intelligence that correct errors that can affect both of their life. So understand what they're meaning when they're saying traditional relationships have changed and women aren't the leader of the relationship. They are still leading, just not the way that they were before. Now, so that's what it is. And the woman feels more relaxed. She'll help solution problems because she's doing it with him. So if you make an error, okay, he's going to know how to clean it up. Okay, if she makes a bad decision, he'll know how to clean it up. He'll know how to fix it like that. So if even if they make a decision together that he thinks isn't wise, but they go down that path that she suggested, he knows how to clean up those decisions. Don't think that he doesn't. He knows how to clean up those errors and mistakes. Don't think that he does not like that. If something is lost within a relationship, he knows how to retain it, recuperate it. He'll step into his full masculine power when those types of things happen. Now, so co-relationships where they're both people making decisions, they shifted because the woman used to didn't have a voice, period. She was always in the background. She was always a supportive role within the family life, meaning providing in the home life, cooking, cleaning, taking care of children, not even working outside the home. Some women weren't. And then some women were working. Some women have worked out the home throughout history. Don't think that all women have not worked outside the home. You can do research on with history, and some poor women have always worked outside the home or worked in somebody else's house like that. Throughout history, they didn't have the luxury of staying home and having a man provide for them. So that's not universal where women have usually were staying at home, not all of them. But women usually, they did not have a voice regarding finances. They did not have a voice regarding, they were fully in their feminine energy. Now, but a different type of feminine energy. They did not have a voice regarding finances and how the family funds and money was going to be spent. unless she had a nice husband and some leeway. But usually he was making those decisions. She didn't have a voice in decisions regarding the family, the children, the relationship itself, unless she had a kind of a nice husband and she had some leeway. The man was doing that throughout history. He was doing leading because, for one, men had the power and they felt that the burden of responsibility, if there was a mistake, was going to fall on their shoulders. Now, fast forward that with things haven't had changed, a lot of women are feeling that, yeah, it's changed for the best, but the scales can be tipped sometimes because it depends on the type of men that they are meeting and what those men are accustomed to, like that regarding leadership roles. It would depend on what those men are accustomed to, and the woman could feel that, well, she doesn't. Because men are usually setting the tone for the relationship and bringing the energy to the masculine energy to the relationship. The woman has to go with the flow of that, is usually how it is. Even with modern times, there's a energy that comes and presents itself. Now, is the flexibility that women are wanting within the relationship, is that this is what women are wanting. The flexibility is for the men to not be so rigid and to offer that space where the woman has a voice also. It's not about, it's 2024, the women are carrying the burden of a relationship and making decisions and having to give him advice and tell him what to do or doing his part or nothing won't be done. That's not what it changed into. It changed into the request of men to see women as equal partners. Not equal meaning that she's a man too and can do it. Not that type of equal is what they're talking about. Equal partners meaning what she brings to the table regarding her feminine energy is equal to what he brings as a masculine, as a man. That's the type of equal they're talking about. That's the type of equal that they're talking about. Seeing her role as equal to his, and seeing that she has good ideas, seeing that she can make that she can be a contributing partner to decisions like that. It wasn't about she makes all decisions and has to do his part and she's carrying the relationship to take care of him. No, that's not what it was about. It's about he sees equal partnership. He sees that what she brings to the table as a feminine woman is equal to what he brings as a masculine man. Her in that she can not only be in the role of the feminine energy of the taking care of the children, nurturing the home life, nurturing the children, that she could also be a contributing partner in decisions like that, co-making decisions with him, having good ideas, be able to problem solve with him when that's necessary. Men used to didn't allow that. Men used to didn't allow that. They didn't allow the woman to step out of her feminine energy too much into what he called feminine meddling. Men called feminine meddling when the woman wanted to give him advice, tell him what to do, make decisions by herself regarding the children, family, home life, relationship, make financial decisions, or get into that aspect of the relationship. That would be feminine meddling. So now in modern times that's not the case. The woman wanted the equality of her role, what she was bringing to the table, seen as equal, and seeing that she can do more than that, like that when she's in a romantic relationship. Obviously, when she's single, she takes care of herself financially and all of that. Okay, but when she's in a romantic relationship, because of the man's traditional role, what the man is and what he likes to bring to the table, she has to, the equality is that he that her role is equal to his. Her role is equal value to his is, but she also has something to offer regarding ideas, and it's not meddling, it's not telling him what to do, it's not giving him advice, it's not overstepping her boundaries and stepping into his boundaries, because men have boundaries, and women have feminine boundaries, men have masculine boundaries. Now, the man, you have to be careful with men, because they don't want you stepping into their masculine boundaries in a relationship. Now, just like they don't step into your feminine boundaries. Okay, they don't want you stepping into their masculine boundaries like that. But yeah, you can think. You can think you're co-manifesting and co-creating with them. You can think you're co-solving problems with them. You can think you're co-decision making with them, but you're really not, because they can foresee errors, and they know that any error that is made regarding a path that they agree with, they know how to straighten it up. They know how to clean it up, or they won't go down the path. Why? Because men are accustomed to using analytical skills more than women are. Why are men are accustomed to using analytical skills more than women are? Because men have used them longer. Why? Well, because women weren't allowed to use theirs, because the men put them fully in the feminine role like that. So the male's analytical skills are more sharpened like that. They're used to problem solving. They were just how I stated that throughout history, not all women were in the home life. Poor women have always worked, but men have. But where the poor ones would be working for other women in their homes, things like that. Now, but men have always worked. They've always been problem solvers. They have their analytical skills and decision making skills are well developed like that. How do you well develop something? Well, the way men are genetically wired, there's a difference between genetic wiring of men. There's a difference genetically. Testosterone is one of the differences, but there's a genetic difference, DNA difference between men and women. And also men have had a longer time period of being out into the world, applying the mind like that. Okay. Just how women have been more accustomed to not being in it and applying nurturance in the home life like that. In whatever level of intuitive direction, or level of intuitive following some type of intuitive direction as she did it. So with men and being in your feminine energy when you're with them, you just relax and be yourself and be open to receiving like that. Now, be open to masculine energy, be open to receiving. Masculine energy by nature is giving. People state feminine energy by nature is giving. Well, feminine energy by nature is receptive and open to receiving. Now, once she receives, her nature, obviously, the bounce back is giving like that. So feminine energy masculine energy is open by nature to giving. Feminine energy is receptive, receiving the energy, and therefore nurturing the masculine. But the masculine energy leads in that also. He's giving to her energy, masculine energy, and she's been receptive to that, and it comes back to him as love and nurturance. But she's in her feminine energy as this is happening. She's in her safe space energy as this is happening. Now, if you find yourself with a man and he causes you anxiety and anxiousness, it is because you're out of sorts. You're out of the masculine energy isn't coming towards you. And I'm going to talk about something that I've never talked about before here. And I didn't plan to talk about this here. And I'm going to talk about toxic masculinity. Now, and where they get it confused, well, I guess I would have to say that, well, I have to be, well, I just have to say it. I have to be honest and state that, well, maybe it was toxic masculinity that, well, what else would you have? Well, the toxic masculinity for me would be the toxic masculinity would have been when men, well, I don't know if it would have been toxic. So I'm not going to say toxic masculinity. So I would have to sit down and think about what toxic masculinity would mean to me, like that, as opposed to what is defined as. And I don't know what they define it as, but I've heard the phrase toxic masculinity thrown around. So I would say that a type of masculinity is the masculinity that they want to come out of, that I described, where the man didn't see the woman as an equal, meaning that he didn't see her role as equal to his or as important to his, as important, equal importance as his. He didn't, or if he saw it, he didn't, I guess maybe he didn't evaluate it, or he didn't demonstrate it, may have taken it as this is the way things are supposed to be, but his role is superior like that because he's the masculine, because if any error is going to fall on him, or if any correction needs to be made, it's up to him to do it like that. So he didn't take he took the woman as, but this the masculinity, this is what it was. He took the woman as an adult child. Okay. Meaning that, okay, if this is the way men used to take women as adult children, some of them are the same. Some men are the same way, where, okay, as adult children, where we can't put all of this decision making in her hand in a romantic relationship. He's not going to be looking at her for advice and her telling him what to do, because he feels that they will feel that, well, is just not going to happen, because he felt superior like that. He felt that he, as a man, was superior. So they felt that, well, a superior person doesn't come to a person that is with children, then women, then men. So the men looked at women as elevated from children like that. Somebody that he had to protect, somebody that he had to make decisions for, somebody that he had to provide safety for, somebody that he had to provide for financially, somebody that even if we co-make decisions, I know that she can be wrong, but I know how to clean it up. Okay. Now that's the actual illusion of, that's the illusion that they have today. And that's why they said is things have changed. Now is the people are equal. Not really. That's the illusion of equality that has been created, because the man knows that, well, I don't know if they feel superior, but they most definitely feel that they're masculine like that. Okay, because men run the world still. Okay, obviously they would be still head of the household, even though people say, well, we're two head of the household. No, you're not. Because if something happens, that woman is going to go to the man and he's going to fix it, or he'll have resources that can fix it, or he can find the answer, and he'll have the analytical skills to apply to get it fixed and done. So there's an illusion of equality in romantic relationships today like that. Because the woman, usually if something happens, she's going to run to her husband. Nine times out of 10, she's going to be crying on his shoulders instead of him crying on hers. 9 times out of 10, he's going to be making decisions about that relationship. 9 times out of 10, he's going to be providing the financial nest egg. Even if she's working, he's going to be making more. 9 times out of 10, even if they're co-ruling the funds and the money, he's going to be over the money because he's making more, even if it appears that they're doing that together and that she's the one paying the bills and over that. No. Men have separate bank accounts, hidden money, hidden investments that made it sure that there's security for the family, or that they're hiding and keeping secure. Because I feel that men still, we're not too far from the 60s. Okay, so men, obviously, just because of the civil rights movement or women's rights movement, they didn't change in a night. They didn't change that quick. The men are still like knowing that The role is still within them. The role is still within them. Now and then you could go out and I guess the modern children, like millennial men. And I don't know what the other generation, not even millennials, hell, they're what, in their 40s or something like that. So it wouldn't be them so much. Millennial men, I'm a Generation X, so millennials are my children, like that. My children are millennials. Now, so it wouldn't be them. It would be maybe, I don't know what the generation is called that's after them. Okay. Now, that generation is maybe what you can come across that would be more where the men are more free from those types of roles and things like that. Now, is to a certain extent, because they will be younger, they will be people in their, my children are in their 30s, so they will be people that are in their, or maybe early 20s, maybe in their early 20s or something. They would be more where those types of roles really aren't a part of their paradigm like that. So is that the millennials and Generation X like me, obviously boomers like my parents, they are more still in the millennials to a certain extent, but still, because we Generation X like me would be their parents, so it would be more of a something a little bit more traditional. Now, if you come across men that are millennials and Generation X, and they want that, and they're not that traditional way where how the men were, they could be trying to mimic or be cool or be young like that. They could be trying to do that, or they may not want the responsibility of relationships like that. They may be the ones that tell you that they could bring a lot of stress into relationships. Because they could be the ones that feel they didn't grasp the concept of what equality means in a relationship and how women want to be seen as equal. That didn't mean the woman was saying, I want to be the man. It means that, and some men know that, but they want to flip that because they don't want to be men. Is that now is because they, I don't know, but so that it would be where they would be more so of where you feel that because I haven't really looked at how men are behaving like that regarding age groups and with the change. So they'll try to flip it and state, well, I'm sure they'll try to flip it and state, well, they'll probably say, well, women say that they wanted equality or something like that, knowing that that's not what it meant like that. Knowing that that's not what it meant like that. That's another way for them to be lazy. That's another way for them to be slackers. That's another way for them to get back at women like that. Because the ones that know that that's inequality within men and that's role within men, they still do it like that. Even though they will say, well, that's what women get when women suffer, and state, well, I'm carrying the burden of the relationship. I'm having to do everything in the relationship. He's not doing anything in the relationship. The men would say, well, that's what women get. They stated they want equal rights, knowing also that that's not what they meant. And they'll say that that's what women get as a way to get back at women like that for wanting to be seen in their position, in their feminine energy, and wanting it to be just as valuable as men's are like that. So when you're dealing with men, stay in your feminine energy. Get fully grounded in it. Get fully grounded in it. Stay in it. Don't deter from it. One woman is feminine receptive. She's receiving the energy. Masculine energy is ignition like that. It's giving. It's action. It's directed towards her. Okay. She responds to his masculinity by feminine energy. Okay. She receives the energy. It ignites her feminine energy, ignites the feminine energy that is already there. She responds within her feminine energy like that. The masculine energy is setting the tone. That's why when you meet someone or you're in a romantic relationship and you have somebody that's making you anxious, you have somebody that isn't, they're like, and they make you're feeling like you're having a burden. Okay, David, they are not, the energy could not be masculine, or it could be something like ailing it, or they're not your match like that. It could just not be your match. Because the thing with men also is that another thing that women didn't agree with men and felt that their position as a woman, feminine energy, wasn't valued, is because they're men, they will make decisions without telling the woman like that. Because the man felt that, well, he has the right to make the decisions. He doesn't have to check in with her, make decisions about the family. The woman was the last to know. Make decisions about the money because he was the one earning it. Making decisions about the children because the children belonged to him. The men felt like the children belonged to them. Men felt that children they're theirs. Is how men feel about children. That the children belong to them. That they're their children. Obviously, they know that the woman had them, but they feel that the children are theirs, and they felt like the woman was theirs also. Like that. So and I guess so. And then the woman was valued, but because I feel that men value women, but maybe like a bit like maybe valuing a child or something like that, or similar to that type of value is what it was. Now, so what men would do is that they would make decisions without the woman, and they were able to do it like that. They would make the decision. The woman was the last one to know. She didn't even have to know like that. It wasn't necessary for her to know. He was just able to do what he wanted to do. And the woman has always been a supportive role to men throughout history. But this type of support was, as I stated, as far as he would let that support go, and it wasn't very far. It wasn't very far. The support was even limited. Is that so it's not about being in your feminine energy, and that means that you don't know how to take care of yourself. It's not about being in your feminine energy, and that means that you don't know how to provide for yourself. Obviously, you know how to do that, but because your instincts would tell you, your instincts are going to tell you that. So obviously, men know that you know how to do that. But when you're in a romantic relationship, that's when you're single. But when you're in a romantic relationship, it's always been different. And the difference that need to be changed is that men needed to see the woman's that see feminine energy as equal to masculine energy, equal to what they will bring to the table, like that. Even if it went to where the woman was like, well, hell, if I'm single, I obviously have to do it for myself. Even the woman was like that, would that be obvious? That's not her proving that she is a man, or that's not her proving what she can do what men do. Is her proving that she doesn't have a romantic relationship, so she has to do what she needs to do, like that. Okay, when there's a man, okay, that would be quite different. But masculine men, they know that. They know that. And masculine men don't care what you're doing for yourself. They don't take into account where you're doing this for yourself, you're doing that for yourself. They know that they're men. And they know that, hell, if you don't have a man, you will be doing it for yourself. Who else will be doing it for you? But if you have a man and they're it, maybe they'll say, well, great job. You're really good at taking care of yourself. Or maybe they'll feel that, well, you had no other choice, like that. Men, they also have an issue with praising women. A lot of them have an issue with praising women for women's capabilities of being able to take care of themselves when they're single. Women's capabilities of being able to be intellectual. Women's capabilities of being able to problem solve, like that. Because men feel that they could do it better. Because most of them can, because they've had a longer time doing it throughout history, like that. But women could do it. Some women could do it equal to them, like that. But it would be in a romantic relationship. The man would be usually those skills are well developed within them because they have more practice. And it doesn't mean that there aren't women that are smarter than men, more intelligent than men, but I'm going to say this, and everybody's going to get mad, but this is the truth. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that men aren't it doesn't mean that there's aren't some women that are smarter than men. Okay, but we know, okay, well, is it doesn't, but it doesn't mean that. Okay, is. I feel that men, even let's say you have a man and a woman of equal intelligence. Okay. Now, there's something, a man and a woman of equal intellectual capacity and capability. Men, because they have a head start as it relates to application of intelligence and capability, because if we look at history and how long men have been out, men have never been in the home, So women have. Now, because even the women that were not in the home, their roles were limited regarding the jobs that they were going to be able to get, regarding the execution of intellectual capability and capacity like that. Also, with women genetically, and you're talking about intellectual capacity and intelligence, there's different. Regarding DNA, is different. Now, so if you have a man or a woman of equal intelligence, it would be intellectual capacity, capability, like analytical skills, problem solving skills. It would be where if they're of equal intelligence, the man can sometimes, due to a genetics, be able to one up the woman. Could be able to one up the woman. Or add something to the equation of that can slant things into his favor. Is those types of things with men, because for one thing, they have had a longer period. They have had a longer period using analytical skills. They've had a longer period that's well developed within them using that and solving complex problems. They've had a longer period with that because their work will call for it like that. So is those types of things. So even when a woman's intelligence is equal, the man will be able to have a different type of ability that is already well chiseled and keen. That's why it's very hard sometimes for women to compete with women when we're talking about, even when you're talking about science and things like that. It can be very hard for the woman to compete. Even when you look at things that aren't about science and look at things that are mundane, and men can come into those arenas and excel. They can come into those arenas and excel. Even when it's women's arenas, they'll come into it and excel. It's because there's a longer time period of having been using certain qualities, skills, characteristics. And a lot of qualities, skills, and characteristics are DNA related. They're genetic. And they're pertaining to masculine and feminine energy. They're pertaining to women and men, and that's scientific. Like that, there is a difference. Now, so obviously there'll be a biological difference. So it is those types of things. So that's what it's about. It wasn't about, so masculine men know that it's not about women trying to be men. Like they know that's an impossibility. Okay, just like it's an impossibility for a man to try to be a woman, that's impossible. It is more so about being seen as an equal, meaning bringing equal value to the table. In that feminine energy is equally valuable to masculine energy, and like that. And what women needed from men, they still need it, obviously. And what men need from women, they still need that. But, well, let's talk about what men needed from women back then. Well, back then they actually needed, it was about having their children. Their children is how it was seen initially. Having their children. It was about taking care of the house, like that. It could be their house or the house between you two, like that. It was about providing sex. It was about being a supportive role. And then it graduated to men starting to look at women as a societal prize. Men started to look at women for their feminine value. Meaning it graduated into the feminine value of a societal prize. Because why was it a societal prize? Well, because the type of woman that a man was able to obtain was related to his status, like that. This societal prize, so it was about the woman's feminine beauty. It was about her femininity still, but it was now about her feminine beauty, how she makes me look, like that. What it means for me to have this type of woman, like that. What it means for me career-wise, how I'm seen in society, how I add to my status, like that. It became about that, the woman's feminine beauty. So the woman was she was became a resource for men. You know, if a men back then, well, still now, if you take a beautiful woman to a meeting or let a beautiful woman see your business associates, the man is more likely to get the promotion, or he's more likely to be favored amongst his peer groups, like that, because he's got a beautiful woman, so he must be a great guy, like that. How was he able to get such a beautiful woman? Why would such a beautiful woman be interested in him? Physical beauty. So the woman became a status symbol for men. It's still like that. It's still like that. It's still like that. And obviously he would love her because he would have to do for and provide for or do whatever it is, what type of relationship they have, like that. So there'll be love from that. Now, in a relationship created around that. So, and then now in more relationships, it's about the value being seen and the value being equal to his, like that is what it is. The value being equal to his. Is that way. And a lot of men would say that they see women as equal. But you have to ask them what they mean by that. He may say, well, I see the woman as not being less than me. Okay. Is that. They can say that. Men usually don't rely on women. Men usually don't depend on women. Men usually don't rely on women. Men aren't dependent, and men don't rely on others. Remember, it's a new phenomenon of men even coming to women for emotional support. The woman's supportive role was quite different. The supportive role that she played, it was quite different. Her role has majority been about a compliment to who he is in society and who he's seen as in society and having his children. How she makes him look in society. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't love there, but that's been her feminine role. That's what she had to bring to the table. That's been her position. That's why men would say, even when they don't, I guess Men with intelligent women, I guess it would be, like if you ask men, the men that are interested in intelligent women, they will make it, well, the relationship is about us. It's about a romantic relationship. Like that. They would see the value in an intelligent woman because the communication, they would be communicating, not the value of she's intelligent, she can solve my issues and problems. No, it would, because men usually aren't looking for other people to solve their problems and issues. Men are the problem solvers. So men know that. Okay, and that's why I'm talking to women. Okay, so is that. Because if she's intelligent, he will be equal or more intelligent. And he will have, there's an availability of resources to men. Intellectual property availability. Okay. Ability to solve problems. Ability to make money. Ability to solution things. Those types of resources to men that women don't have still. They have easy access to it because men have always been out there, so they're accustomed to it. Like that. That's why men have never really become dependent on women. They've never been dependent on women throughout history. Other than for household duties. They would depend on them. For for the cleaning up, washing clothes, cooking, taking care of the children. Sex. For those types of things, they would depend on them. For other things, no. No. They would not. They would not. Dependent, no. No. But women have, throughout history, depended on men. It's new that now they don't have to. And they were dependent on men for everything. Money, safety, security, fathers for the children, good husbands, support, advice, permission. Because women at a time period, not too long ago, women had to ask the man for permission. She had asked him for permission. Like that. So those are the two things with being in your feminine energy. Just sit back, relax, receive the energy. Women are feminine receptive to the energy. And they respond to the man in their feminine energy. He sets the tone. And then she responds to that energy like that. It's that. And it's burden free. You don't carry the weight. You're not anxious. You don't feel that you have to make our decision to make sure things are happening, because if you don't, he doesn't care enough. It's not important to him. It's not that. I don't know what type of man that would be. I don't know what type of man that would be. Usually the woman would be able to go to the man for anything, any problem, any issue like that. Request, those types of things. But and that's a heavy load for a man to carry. But hell, testosterone, they've been built for it, and they've done it throughout history. That's the only role they've had. That's what they've always done. And as I stated with the relationships, modern relationships now, and you're in a modern relationship now, and you want your relationship to be more on the modern side, well, it will have the appearance on the surface of being modern. The modern relationships have the appearance on the surface of being modern. It doesn't matter what the people are calling themselves, it's the appearance of being modern. Because if anything happens, that man has resources available to him, analytical skills, problem solving skills, resources to get things changed if there was an error made. So the woman has the freedom to think that she's in there making decisions. She has the freedom to think that they're co-making decisions. She has the comfort and the luxury of doing it. Because know what? Because she actually knows she has a man that's gonna fix things if something happened. Because he's a man in society still. And the role of men in society has not changed that much. It's just that the woman has now more leeway and freedom than she had in the past, is what it is.